Eggs Benedict is a poached egg on ham and an English muffin topped with hollandaise sauce.
I'm going to be making a breakfast sandwich with eggs, bacon, cheese in them on top of fried apples. Is this all the baking powder we have?
Yes.
So I'm putting my baking powder in, and I realize I only have a little over a tablespoon, and I need a whole quarter cup.
Judges, commence. I'm so excited right now. In the last episode, Jesse and Landry made their best breakfast sandwich, and they were both delicious. You gotta watch that one to see who won. In this episode, they are actually gonna do an entire dinner with an entree and 2 sides, and we're gonna see how that plays out.
Last week, my loss was mostly based on presentation, and Miss Trina said that I lacked the ta-da factor. Okay, Trina, I got your ta-da factor right here. This week, I'm making Gordon Ramsay chicken, as my family called it. It could be called garlic thyme chicken, but that sounds boring, so we're calling it Gordon Ramsay chicken, because it's a Gordon Ramsay recipe. I'm also making butternut squash with brown sugar and cinnamon, and Brussels sprouts with a hot sauce, kind of, and maple syrup sauce over it.
So last week I did win, although I had some mistakes. My apples were dry, and I had terrible coloring with my plate. So this week I'm gonna try to add more color in and pay more attention to everything that's cooking, so I don't overcook anything. So today I'm making bacon wrapped meatloaf with green beans on the side and dinner rolls.
He plans to beat me with meatloaf. No one likes meatloaf. Can you think of anyone who actually likes meatloaf?
I can.
Just because it has bacon on it does not mean it's going to save it.
Let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, I can think of so many people. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people who have said no, don't like meatloaf, don't care.
And isn't there like 7.6 billion people in the world?
Yes.
So 10 people out of that much people, that's a very small amount.
8 people out of that much people, Jesse. Very small amount.
I was hoping you'd look past that.
The first thing I did was peel and cut my butternut squash and toss it in cinnamon, sugar, and melted butter. Then I halved my Brussels sprouts and tossed them into homemade hot sauce and maple syrup.
Now that my meat is thawed, I'm going to season it and then shape it, wrap it in bacon.
Does it smell okay?
I'm going to baste it with a ketchup, brown sugar, put it in the oven. I will baste this every few minutes while it's cooking.
Is that meatloaf or roadkill?
Yes!
That's alarming. Y'all, if the judges die, it's his fault, right?
Well, they ate your dish too, so maybe it was your fault. Rolls! It's time to roll. Hey Landry,
What?
why do midgets never get hired on as chefs?
Why?
Because the stakes are too high.
You're on your tiptoes. Hello, gorgeous. I'm making a pan jus sauce, which is a sauce made from the juices on the pan after I cook the chicken. My chicken's in a casserole dish in the oven.
Yeah. Because I read it aloud with them,
Crap.
stop and talk about it.
Burnt it. So I tasted my pan jus just in case, because you should always be tasting your food as you're cooking. And I realized it tastes terrible. It tastes bitter and burnt, and I hate it. I cannot serve this. How do you burn a sauce? I'm running low on hope, and Trina suggests using the fat drippings from a chicken stock. I might as well try it. Huh?
Come on, beans.
Yeah.
Beans.
That's even worse. Ugh. What did I do wrong? Does my chicken taste okay? Okay, chicken tastes okay. I don't know what went wrong, but it's horrible.
Like your life? My meatloaf is very bland. It isn't tasting like how it normally is. So I'm hoping my beans and rolls and the ketchup sauce on top of the meatloaf will save me.
Chicken is cooked perfectly.
I'm really enjoying the way the skin is done. I don't know how you did that, but that's amazing.
I have a technique called forgetting them.
Perfect.
I feel like the chicken needs a little more seasoning.
That's how I feel about the Brussels sprouts and this squash. I feel like the squash needs a little more seasoning.
The butternut squash is a little bit underdone. A few pieces were soft and a few were not. So the chicken is really actually perfect. I don't know how that got so perfectly done on the outside and the inside. I think I'd have burned it. Very, very flavorful. A little cold. My beans are cold. Yeah. Are yours fine?
Flavor of the beans are spot on.
All right. Very good, Jesse.
I really like the beans.
Yeah, those are actually really easy recipes in my book.
Fun.
It was a hard work tonight.
Yeah.
So what were your
So
thoughts?
for me, the chicken with the green beans and roll would have been the perfect dish.
right?
I'm not a huge fan of meatloaf, so he would have like had to hit like home run to have persuaded me differently. But I thought the chicken was cooked perfectly, and like you said, cooking chicken on the bone is hard to get
the outside perfect.
the outside perfect and it not be raw on the inside or
Yeah.
overcooked. And so the chicken was spot on. But his green beans, I loved those green beans.
And I agree that the green beans were flavored fantastically. I like the Brussels sprouts on Landry's. The butternut squash was under seasoned and undercooked, I think.
Yeah.
The main course, the meats, the meatloaf and the chicken, I think I would have to give the nod to the chicken, even though I still see room for improvement there.
Yeah, I would have
So-
loved to have had it with that sauce that she was raving about.
Yeah.
And the meatloaf was good, but it was definitely, remember when it was meatloaf, it was not gourmet. It's almost like they can't even try to compare you. Like you can wrap meatloaf in bacon and it's going to be good because of the bacon. And that sauce was flavorful. I finished my whole piece.
To me, it was the texture.
The texture was
te-
off.
Was it? Okay, was it off? Because I just, like I said, I'm not a fan of meatloaf. But to
Yeah.
me,
I don't know what happened, and I wasn't in the kitchen hovering, observing, but I feel like it was overmixed, so it was like we were eating a processed,
Yeah.
packaged, it was
Yeah.
like the consistency of Spam. I said it.
Yeah, you're right. Now that
Did you
say
notice
that.
a difference in the?
Yeah, it was
Usually
there
it has
definitely-
more
definitely,
like
and
a
I
hamburger
I wasn't sure if it
Yeah,
was
yeah, it's
even
more-
like he wanted a really lean.
Well, that's what
ground
I thought. I
beef.
thought it was
And
turkey or something.
I thought,
Yeah.
maybe it was the fact that it was so lean that it lacked some of the flavor that the higher fat content would have in it.
Both of the meals were great. The chicken was amazing, but the sides were kind of bland, especially for the squash. And the sides for the meatloaf were really good, but the meatloaf itself was not its best. And the green beans were cold and it ruined the taste. The meatloaf was overmixed like a Spam. It was like really weird, and it felt like it was blended. And then but the overall winner is Landry.
Well, it is a nice redemption. I'm gonna enjoy holding my Gordon Ramsay chicken over the bacon wrap meatloaf you spent forever hyping up.
I do think that Landry deserved that. My meatloaf was not it did not reach its stakes, pun intended.
Oh, I just got that. It took me a second.
So this evening we saw that it is super fun to cook and to make a yummy meal, but it takes a next level of skill to get it on the table, to get all the parts on time, to have it be hot. And we saw our chefs really shine with their different skills, and we saw them really step up to the challenge and work through some stuff. And it was just amazing how good the food was. They were really sweating. I can't wait to see what they do with dessert.